Every time you buy groceries, get gas, or maybe upgrade your phone, chances are you're interacting with a fintech giant that's basically hiding in plain sight. It's called Pine Labs, and it sits right at the center of this really fascinating paradox that we're going to unpack right now. So, think of Pine Labs as the invisible plumbing of modern retail. Seriously, whether it's your local corner store or a massive electronics chain, they're the ones providing the tech that makes all our payments feel so seamless. They are the quiet engine just humming along, powering millions of transactions every single day. And the scale we're talking about here is just staggering. I mean, look at this number. That's over 11 trillion rupees. That's well over $100 billion in transactions flowing through their systems every year. To put that into perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of a lot of countries. But here's the puzzle. Take a look at this chart. On one side, you've got their revenues just shooting up, which looks great. But on the other side, consistent net losses, year after year. Despite all this massive growth, the company is still in the red. It's a classic tech paradox. And this brings us to the big question, right? How on earth can a company that is so essential to our economy, processing trillions of rupees, somehow fail to turn a profit for a quarter of a century? Well, let's dig in and find out. Okay, so to really get this, we've got to rewind the clock. We have to go back to the beginning, because the whole idea behind Pine Labs was born in a very different time, way before instant payments and digital wallets were a thing. I want you to picture this. It's the late 90s in India. You're at a chaotic petrol pump. Cards won't swipe properly, the loyalty point system is a total mess, and everything is just buried under piles of paper. And that is where Pine Labs started. They created technology to bring some order to all that chaos. Notice, it wasn't about payments yet. It was about solving a really frustrating, real-world logistics problem. But, just fixing problems at petrol pumps was only the beginning. To become the giant they are today, they didn't just build everything from scratch. Nope. Their secret weapon was strategic shopping. They went out and they bought the pieces they needed to build this complete commerce ecosystem. And this timeline just lays out their strategy perfectly. Each one of these acquisitions was like adding a new layer to their empire. First, Quicksilver for gift cards, then Fave for consumer rewards, then a huge year in 2022, buying Mozambique to reach small merchants and Sechu to get that powerful back-end plumbing with APIs. They were basically assembling a commerce giant, one piece at a time. So, after all that building and buying, what does this empire actually do today? Let's break down the modern commerce engine that Pine Labs has built. It's a complete full-stack offering. What that really means is they handle literally every single piece of the puzzle, from the payment machine on the counter in a store to the payment gateway in an app, from loyalty programs and gift cards all the way to the invisible API infrastructure that other companies build on. They even help banks issue new credit cards. It's truly a complete operating system for commerce. And here's what's so smart about their setup. It connects everybody. Merchants use it to get paid. Banks use it to fund things like installment plans. And you get a super smooth checkout experience, and you probably never even notice the name Pine Labs. They are the essential, invisible bridge connecting all three. So how do they make money from all this? Well, it's a two-part model. First, they charge merchants a stable, recurring subscription fee for their terminals and software. And then, on top of that, they take a tiny, tiny slice of every single transaction that flows through their system. It's this perfect blend of stability and massive scale. Okay, so we've seen the huge scale, the smart strategy, and the revenue model. It all looks great on paper, which brings us right back to that central mystery. Where are the profits? And here is maybe the most crucial point of this entire story. Pine Labs is operationally profitable. Their core business, day-to-day, actually makes money. The problem isn't the business itself. It's a huge expense that shows up further down on the balance sheet, turning that healthy operational profit into a final net loss. And the key to understanding why comes down to this one kind of boring-sounding accounting term, depreciation. Put simply, it's just how companies account for the value an asset loses over time. A company car is worth less after 3 years, right? That loss in value is a business expense on paper. Okay, so stick with that car analogy. Now, imagine your company car isn't just one car. Imagine it's this. Nearly 2 million physical payment terminals sitting on countertops all across Asia. Pine Labs owns and maintains this entire colossal network of hardware. And here's the kicker. This kind of hardware gets old fast. With a useful life of just about 3 years, Pine Labs is stuck in this constant cycle of having to replace millions of these devices. And in accounting terms, this creates a massive recurring expense, that depreciation, that just eats away at their profits. And this right here is the aha moment. The losses aren't a mistake. They are the strategy. See, by owning the hardware on the merchant's counter, Pine Labs physically locks that merchant into their ecosystem. That little machine becomes a gateway to sell them all sorts of high-margin software and services. The depreciation, that paper loss, is the price they willingly pay for market control. It's their powerful competitive moat. So this entire strategy puts Pine Labs at a really fascinating crossroads, and it makes you question the very definition of success in the tech world today. So what's next for them? Well, Pine Labs is gearing up for a big IPO. The plan is to use those funds to pay down debt, invest even more in their technology, and basically just strengthen their foundation as they get ready to face the public markets. And that really leaves us with one final big question. Pine Labs has achieved absolutely incredible scale. They've woven themselves into the very fabric of commerce in Asia. But as we've seen, scale isn't always the same thing as success. The ultimate test will be, can this quiet giant finally prove to the world that it can be both massive and profitable?